today I'm reviewing this gimbal. It's like kind of my size and it's pretty nice.
Good job. Wow,
Was that bad?
That was awesome.
You're the best.
It is release day for the all-new Cinepeer Crane 4E, and I have a few things to say about it. Now, zhiyun is paying me to talk about this gimbal in this video, but the nice thing about working with them is that there are no requirements, no stipulations. There's no, you can't say this, you can't say that, and they don't review this video before I post it either. So I'm treating it as a normal review. You're getting my honest feedback and thoughts. And so the idea of Cinepeer is zhiyun is branching off and creating a more budget-friendly, less featured, slightly less premium in materials version of everything, basically. They started this with lights, and now this is the second number 2 gimbal. The first was this, the Gimbal 3E, and I'd still consider this to be the best $200 gimbal out there on the market. And the reason is it's a Gimbal 3S without a light on the front, for 30% less money. This new Cinepeer Crane 4E is no different. From what I can tell, it is just as good as the zhiyun Crane 4, and it's cheaper as well. Now, I never got the Crane 4 for review, so I can't compare them back to back, so I'm using some spec sheets to read the differences between the two of them. The Crane 4E is lighter than the 4 by a few grams. Same exact footprint, same dimensions. The 4E still has the same L-shaped base on the bottom, so it allows you to remove this little mini tripod and you can place it on a flat surface just like this. And if your camera setup is balanced, it works just like that. It also has the same screen and control layout, and as far as I can tell, the payloads are exactly the same as well. The Crane 4E does not have a built-in fill light that would be up here by the camera. It doesn't have the balance indicator lights, which are really cool little lights on each axis that show you whether or not you are balanced. It does have Bluetooth, it has app control, it has native vertical shooting, and it is compatible with the 2nd gen sling grip and wrist rest. Unfortunately, I didn't get either one of those with my review unit. Battery life likewise is similar, or I should say identical, at 12 hours of rated runtime. So in summary, this is the exact same gimbal in a different color, a little bit lighter, and without the fancy lights. Everything else is, again, the exact same. So here is how it performs. Ready, set, go. So this is a smooth gimbal. It is larger than the Gimbal 3E, as you can see, and I've always said that the larger the gimbal, the smoother it is, even with a lighter camera setup. Now, I have used this gimbal in particular quite a bit over the last month. I took it with me on a corporate shoot and used it for 3 days straight with an A7R5 and some pretty heavy lenses. Payload capacity is not released, unfortunately. It seems that no gimbal manufacturer is releasing payload because different camera sizes and different lens sizes and shapes, and some things clear and sometimes they don't clear. I used it with an A7R5 and with my Viltrox 135 f1.8, which is a roughly 3-pound lens, and it was more than okay. No issues, plenty of torque, no shakiness. It was solid. If you are curious about compatibility with your own camera model and your lenses, you can go on to the zhiyun website and see if it is supported with any gimbal that they sell. One of my favorite things about the Crane 4E is the quick-ish release plate. Now, it's not a full quick release plate, but it's pretty close. It allows you to set up and balance your camera one time, and then if you want to remove it, you can move this lock latch, push a button, and slide it completely off. The top plate is still here and it's still at the same measurement, so if you want to run around with your camera, shoot some handheld stuff, and then come back to your gimbal, you just slide it back into place, lock it, and you're good to go. And if you want to do vertical shooting, this whole bracket comes off, so you can unlock it just like this, slide it completely off, and then you could take your camera and slide it onto this top rail here and lock it into place. And now you have a vertical shooting setup. Now you do have to rebalance this obviously because the weight is going to be all over the place, but this is pretty quick and easy in terms of vertical to horizontal switching for a gimbal. Certainly better than a lot of other gimbals, many of which don't have vertical modes at all. And some of them have modes, but it takes a 20-minute procedure to take it off and remove all the pieces and put them all back together, which is not convenient for anyone. Now, as for criticisms, I have 3. When adjusting my gimbal settings, I found that the pan follow speed was still a bit too quick even at the slowest setting at the extremes, and I couldn't connect it to the ZY Play app at the time to make those fine-tuning adjustments, so I ended up using this gimbal in L or lock mode for the majority of my shots, which is fine, but I'm really hoping to dial that in after this thing is released today. It's almost like a rubber band effect, so I'll demonstrate it right here. So you can see I have my deadband set up, and so if you're in pan follow mode, which I am right now, if you are slowly moving, it's staying in place, but at a certain extreme, it just quickly starts to move with you. And I wish that there was a way to slow that kind of rubber band end down a little bit. Second, the axis lock on this particular motor right here is hidden. It's visible and easy to spot on this upper motor and the bottom one, but this one, it's underneath, and so I found that a little bit annoying just because I had to keep looking for it all the time because I wasn't used to it. And the last thing is the screen on this thing. I just wish it was a little bit bigger. I don't have the largest fingers in the world, but there were a couple of times where I was using this thing for 3 days straight, about 10 hours each day. I was pressing menu items and I pressed some wrong menu items just because the screen was a little bit too small. So that may be coming as a future model. I don't know. They've had this screen on this line of gimbals, I feel like, for a long time, and it might be time for a little bit of an expansion. That being said, this gimbal survived 3 days of torture and it produced some incredible looking smooth shots. The battery life was so good, I was never concerned about it whatsoever. This thing charges very quickly via USB-C at the very bottom here. And again, this is $100 to $200 less expensive than the zhiyun version. And unless you absolutely need that 10-watt fill light or those balance indicator lights, then you're really getting the exact same gimbal with the exact same performance, just with less damage to your wallet at the end. And this Cinepeer Crane 4E, which is launching today, is already on sale. I believe it is a 15% off sale via coupon code, which I will leave down in the description and in the comments. So it makes this even more of a value compared to the expensive premium model. Now, if you don't need the size for the clearance of larger cameras and lens bodies, and you don't need the additional payload capacity, then this little Weebill 3E is still about half the price of the larger Crane 4E. But if you guys need more flexibility for larger setups, the 4E is certainly more capable. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. As always, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more and have a nice day. Bye-bye.